Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. I hope you're feeling better and you have your glass of warm water next to you.
Well, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Samrita, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very
evening.
happy to be with you. Yeah.
Yes, so let's start. It's 6:02. Welcome to everybody. And this is our 146th monthly meeting. We are on our 13th year, as some of you who have attended the previous meetings know. Let me switch on the recording. Yeah, there we go. This is also live on YouTube. So the message has gone out, so people who are comfortable can also view it on YouTube. This month's meeting is an annual endowment lecture in the name of a young man who passed away, Srinivas Naini, and we'll be hearing about him shortly. And we are delighted to have with us Ms. Frauke. She is the founder secretary of Society to Save Rocks, which was founded in Hyderabad, and we'll know a little bit more about that in a bit. May I now first call upon Mr. Somasekar Ganti to read the prayer, please.
Namaste. Heaven of freedom, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Somasekar. We have with us Ms. Chakravartini Naini, sister of Srinivas. Chakravartini, can you please switch on your video and read the profile of your brother in whose name this endowment has been set up by your family?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Video can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, my daughter, Sahasra, she will introduce the profile of my brother.
Sure. Go ahead, Sahasra.
Good evening, one and all. I am Sahasra from Hyderabad, niece of Naini Srinivas. Naini Srinivas was born in 1979 at Machilipatnam. He was an electronics engineer from Nagarjuna University. At the time of demise, he was working as senior NOC engineer at Netexel Private Limited, Hyderabad. His achievements. He was district player in cricket and won many medals organized by the Revenue Sports of Authority, Krishna district. He gave a new experience to the blind by donating his eyes and changed someone's life. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about my Mamaya.
Thank you. Very sweet of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, let me just briefly introduce our distinguished speaker for today, Ms. Frauke. She is a German national, but has been in India since 1967. After completing her degree in foreign languages in Cologne, Germany, she traveled to New Delhi with the German Foreign Service to work in the embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany in Delhi. That's where she met her husband-to-be, Mr. S. Fayaz Khader, and after marrying, they settled down in Hyderabad, and they have two sons who both live in India with their families. Irfan, one of them, is currently helping her today, and both her sons, incidentally, passed out of HPS Begumpet. Very surprisingly, Frauke took to the bizarrely balancing rock formations of Hyderabad soon, and she fell in love with them. And she was aghast at the destruction of these beautiful rock formations and was one of the persons instrumental in the formation of the Society to Save Rocks. And ever since then, they have continuously and relentlessly advocated and fought to preserve these rock formations. She does not come from a scientific background, but that did not, hold her back from getting very deeply involved in the cause of saving these treasures of nature, which captivate the imagination of old and new Hyderabadis. Especially for some of us on this call in our own school, we had a portion of our school in the rear, which was a small hillock and beautiful rock formations, and we used to always enjoy spending our weekends there on Saturday, Sunday. And the Society to Save Rocks was formed in 1996, but the actual work by this group of passionate enthusiasts and environmentalists started as early as 1992 with a photo exhibition. And they started lobbying with the government. Well, as you can imagine, anything to do with ecology, climate, environment, advocacy for that is not easy. And the more than 25 years of journey, Frauke says, has been difficult at times, but also very satisfactory at other times when they were able to make an impact, make a difference. And they undertake multifaceted work. They arrange rock walks, they arrange cultural programs, talks, lectures. They work with the media and different departments of the state government. The focus is increasing knowledge of the citizens and the government about the importance of saving our rocky environment, and especially the stunning rock formations that Hyderabad is gifted with. My association with Frauke dates back to around 22 years, if I remember right, when I was on the Board of Governors of my alma mater, the Hyderabad Public School. We arranged some summer programs for kids, and one of them, 2 years, we arranged rock walks for those kids, which they still remember. Frauke, you'll be happy that many of them wrote back to me sending pictures of that rock walk from 22 years ago. So we're very delighted to have you with us this evening, and we look forward to your talk on the magnificent rocks of Hyderabad and their preservation. The floor is yours, Frauke, and let me just bring up the presentation. Would you like to do it, or would you like us to help you with that? You're muted. You need to unmute yourself.
I would really like if you help me with the technical stuff.
Yeah,
as I told you.
Yeah, let me just give me a minute here.
I'm very sorry, but my throat is not working too well. So if I get a little hoarse in my voice, then please don't mind. I quickly eat a lozenge.
Not to worry.
Shall I start?
Just give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen.
Yes.
So give me a minute to set that up.
Yes.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I see two youngsters on there.
Okay, so that is not the one.
Pardon?
That is not the one. Just hold on.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen now?
I can see the screen, yes.
Do you see the rocks of the Deccan, the first slide?
Yes.
Samrida, is that okay?
Uncle, you have to start the presentation. I think you're on the, you should just go to the presentation mode.
Okay.
Are you on, is it PowerPoint? Is this PowerPoint or?
It's a PowerPoint, yeah.
Yeah, just press F5 on the presentation or just on, just press the presentation mode at the bottom. Start.
You're not seeing the presentation mode?
It is, but also the next slide is being visible on the right side.
Okay, let me just stop this. Okay.
Just start presenting and then share the screen. I think that will be better.
So I go to slideshow, then say from beginning.
Yes. And just share that screen. Yeah.
I should share this screen. Okay. But I think the notes are appearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think for you, you can, yeah.
I know what to do. Just give me a minute here. Go to advanced, portion of screen, share. No, it is taking me to another screen now. Okay, let's just go with that other one.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I think instead of waiting for this. No, I think my desktop is showing, right?
That was fine, Uncle. Just now what you shared.
That was fine?
Yeah, it was showing the full slide.
Does it show the first slide?
Correct. Yes, now it's fine. I think Miss Frauke can start.
Okay.
Yeah. Good evening, and thank everyone for coming and watching this. I think we have a good audience here, and I would like to tell you about the rocks of Hyderabad. What you see on the screen is all our rocks here in our city. You will also see a little bit from other places, but mainly we concentrate our work on the rocks in Hyderabad. We have started pretty early on. Can you give me the next slide? Do I shift to the next slide, or do you give it to me?
I need to do this myself, so I'm just figuring out here. There should be a but. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Can you see genesis of the rocks?
Genesis of the. Please give the next slide.
You're fine. You're okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What is his name? Give me the next slide.
Yeah.
Just click. How can I do it? Shall I do it?
Irfan, what is the slide you're seeing? Is it slide 2?
We are seeing the content slide, sir.
That's correct.
So basically, each of the content items are animated. So if you keep clicking, it will reveal the rest of the content items and then move on to the next slide.
Yeah. So, Rashi, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, this is the one.
Now, yeah, this is the list of topics we will go through. And I don't think, yeah, give the next one.
Should I turn off your video?
This one. Okay. 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, this is a bit of geology about the Indian subcontinent. You see in that box the different types of rocks that we find here, and the rocks of the Deccan, our rocks, are here around Hyderabad and further south are the granites. Kiln granite and gneissic complex. These are the very hard rocks which give us these wonderful formations, which we admire so much, nicely piled on top of each other. The granites, yeah, I'll tell you a little more about the granites. Can we have the next slide? Yeah, and the next. See, the granites that formed from magma that was pushed out of the center of the earth towards the surface. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And reach the Earth's. If it cooled down under the surface of the Earth, it would form around, as you see there, magma, around deposits or longish sheets of deposits. And look at the right slide with weathering. The Earth's surface was slowly giving way and receding, and these stones that had solidified under the surface of the Earth were slowly exposed. Next one. One example is the Bhongia rock, which has come out in a big, huge, come out from the ground in a big, huge blob of rock. And you should all go and see it. It's very impressive. These domes of rocks are called Inselberg, and they are spread all over this granitic shield area that is the Deccan, and also in other parts of the world. Next. Again, the Bhongia rock, sheer rock with not much of vegetation. Next. If you haven't been to Bhongia, you have seen it. If you haven't been, please go. It's really worth seeing. Now, how do these piled up rock formations appear? The rocks, as you see in this diagram, have cracks. And along the cracks, they weather. And they weather to split up and also to make formations Can we have the next one? See, on the right side, you see piled up rocks, which all have made through this weathering of the granite, the square granite pieces, and the weathering has occurred along the cracks and around it of the stones. Yes. Next. Yeah, other some examples of these rounded granite rocks. You can see here, they are called wool sack forms. And these two examples are from Fakhruddin Gutta, which is near Khaja Gudha near Gachibowli. It's a wonderful area, and you should all go there. You see the different forms of weathering. Some have become completely round on a sheetrock, and some are in layers. It depends on the minerals which are in the rocks, which some are softer, some are harder. Softer ones, of course, weather away the easiest over millions of years. The rocks of Hyderabad and of the Deccan are 2.5 billion years old. So that's millions and millions of years. And there's a long time to weather through rain and expansion and contraction, heat, rain, water, and form these very bizarre formations. Next. These are foreign examples. You see on the left down, you have rocks exactly shaped like ours. This is an Africa area in Nigeria, and on the right side, you have rocks in Brazil. The sugarloaf rock you must all have seen in illustrations, if not in person. On top left is the Aya rocks in Australia. Next, please. This is the top of a sheetrock, and on this sheet there is not much vegetation because there's no earth. Where there is any soil, next please, we have the little flowers, small carpets of flowers and bushes, and you will all know them by your excursions into the rocks. Next. More flowers, more flowers, more flowers. If you are botany inclined, you can find out what all these flowers are. On the left side, up lichens and flower crusts, medicinal plants. And what you find on the rock a lot, if you have been there, is little rock pools of water, which actually depends on the depth of the pool, last even during the hot summer. So they have their own vegetation. They have the vegetation which needs more water than those which grow over the rocks. Next. You see this yellowish cover on the center rock and on the side rocks. It is somewhere near Hyderabad. The lichens that grow there are more abundant when you have clearer air, better air. So the pollution you can nicely measure on the lichen and fungus that grows on the rock, directly on the rock, not on soil or maybe whatever they can find inside the little pores of the rock. Yes? So the further away you go from Hyderabad, the more of these lichens you find. And they're quite interesting because they occur in different colors. You you have white, you have black, you have this greenish yellow. And if you are botany inclined, you can find out what all the different names are for these. So here a little bit of animals. The fauna is also quite interesting. We are going a lot, our society, the Society to Save Rocks, we have one of our programs is rock walks into the rocks. And we see a lot of these geckos, these rock agamas, which you see on the top picture on the right. You must all have seen it, little geckos with a bright orange back. They occur quite a lot. You see lizards, you see chameleons on our normal geckos. You have down there, you see the monkey. Not quite so abundant in our area. Next, please. Then we have, of course, our peacocks. You see, even very near the now more abundant constructions in Gachibowli. We have lots of peacocks, especially in the more outlying areas like Jubilee Hills. KBR Park counted in their annual count, bird count, they counted, I think, on something like 200 peacocks. This is quite, but even if you go on normal rocks, I mean, through the normal walks through the rocks, you will always come across some peacocks. Next. Sorry, but my throat is not so good. As it says there on top, religious use of the rocks is, of course, temples inside the rocks, temples on top of the rocks, and usually in quite picturesque places. You see her left is Bela Mandir, on the right side is the temple in the rocks just under the top of Golconda Fort. You must all have seen it, but maybe not realize that is sitting between these two rocks. Next time you go to Golconda, when you climb up to the top palace and look back, then you see this kind of picture on which you have on your right side. Down the picture below, my summer temple in Jubilee Hills is, thank God, still there. I thought it would disappear because all around colonies are being developed, but it's holding out nicely there. More of construction is coming up around this little rock temple. The gods like the rocks, especially inside the rocks, it seems. Okay, this is in Fakhruddin Gutta, that's a hill which is behind Lanko Hills on the way to Gachibowli. You might be knowing. Khaja Guda. Khaja Guda is right next to this area. It's a very old shrine, in a reclining Vishnu in stone inside this rock. Now, unfortunately, it was very picturesque, this place, but they have built a temple in front. I mean, a kind of temple construction, not too big, but in the temple kind of construction. Yeah, next. This is a Maulali. You will all be knowing Maulali is a dargah. It's a tomb of a saint, and sitting on one big sheer rock, and it's quite fun climbing up and climbing down if you're good at climbing. Okay, next. Can you carry on? Dargahs are, of course, also on top of the rocks. The top of the rocks are always very popular for religious places. And this is also in Fakhruddin Gutta. Next. quite old, these shrines and dargahs in the rocks, and that makes them very interesting. So you know, or you all know about the destruction of the rocks. Look at the right side. That is behind Lango Hills. Before it was really built up, and on the left side up, it's a construction site behind the Durgam Cheru. Next. Can we have the next photo? Quarries, of course, in abundance. When my family moved to Jubilee Hills, there were like this man on the left top with just little rock cutters. Singular rock cutters cut the rocks into pieces, as you see down there, for building material. But then the bigger quarries started, like on the right side. This is this is left is Jubilee Hills, right side is again Fakhruddin Gutta on the Gachibowli road. Next. Can we have the next slide? This is what it is looking on the outskirts of the city. This is Kokapet, where a whole landscape is being cut to pieces. This is mainly for building material and also for building space, which both we need with the growing populations and the growing cities. Next. That is what it looks afterwards. The houses are coming up in these areas, in the cut down areas. All the front, you can see all the front rocks have been cut to pieces. Nowadays, because the sand is getting a little rarer and the sand mining is also restricted, so in the cement that these buildings are made of, the sand is being replaced in the cement. The sand is being replaced by cement powder. So the rocks that are being cut, they are ground into powder and mixed with the cement to make concrete for construction. Yes, next. Why should we protect the rocks? Yeah. Can we have this one? Yeah. You see here, it's nicely written down, the natural heritage of Hyderabad and the Deccan. The rocks are the oldest, one of the oldest in the world, the Hyderabadi rocks. They are 2.5 billion years old. Shall I show my video, Subharam?
Yeah, you want to do that now or after this? Or?
Oh, it's okay.
We can do it after the slides then?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We'll talk also about the biodiversity and the fascination of the landscape. So please, let's have the next slide. A little before that. Yeah, these are the reasons actually why we will protect the rocks and why our society is very keen on preserving rocks. At least our main reason always was the last one, aesthetic and fascinating landscape, and for tourism and recreation. Yeah, tourism has lots of people who like to go into these rocks and just explore them and look at the fascinating formations that we have been gifted with here in Hyderabad. it's our natural heritage, and we don't really accept that we should destroy it. And it's not just stone. It is a habitat for a lot of flora and fauna. It is a special system of geology, and it's just so beautiful. So let's see the next one. Next slide. This is what we, the Society to Save Rocks, of which I'm the secretary, want to do: preserve the rocky landscape as heritage precincts. Yes, can we see those? One of them is the Durgam Cheruvu. Heritage, the rocks that have been listed on the heritage list have been selected by the society. The heritage list was done by the Huda, erstwhile Huda of Hyderabad Urban Development Authority, and now called HMDA, Hyderabad Municipal Development Authority. So they, when they put up the list for heritage buildings in 1997, 96, 97, they asked the society if we would want to put a list of rocks that should be protected as heritage into this list. So, of course, we responded with great enthusiasm and proposed some areas. At that time, that was, of course, only for Hyderabad. We started with Jubilee Hills because we were mainly living in Jubilee Hills and Banjara Hills. So Durgam Cheruvu behind Jubilee Hills is one of the jewels. It has lovely rock formations, and was the first one on that list, which was to be protected. Yes, next one. Can we have the next slide? These are some other rocks which have been put on the list. The tortoise rock is in Jubilee Hills. The toadstool rock is also in Jubilee Hills. CCV in Jubilee Hills. I'm also living in Jubilee Hills. We have a very good collection of really nice rocks here. The mushroom rock is in Hyderabad University. It's beloved by all the students. They climb up onto the rocks under the top roof, have their picnics there. I don't know if you have been to that university, but it's a fascinating rock. Next. There's a monster rock in Jubilee Hills again. The Bear's Nose Rock in High-Tech City, of which I will show you another photo later. And the obelix is actually right opposite my house. It's not very big, but when we moved it to Jubilee Hills, it was, it looked very big because it was standing there all by itself. Now it's surrounded by buildings and has shrunk somehow. At least it has visually shrunk. That is my dog. Don't pay attention to him. Can we have the next one? So this was this first list of rock areas was listed. Just excuse me 1 minute. Go out. Go out. Can you hear me in spite of my?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, 1 minute. I am sorry, but he was a bit disturbing, no? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is again this Bear's Nose rock which we saw before. It is now surrounded by a hotel, the Trident Hotel, who have spared out the rock, was dug out around the rock, but it is the rock is still safe, and it makes a fantastic background in the hotel. They have made there is a kind of a restaurant or meeting hall is not quite ready yet. Sorry. Which is on the level of this hall is on the level of this rock, and before we saw it only from the road level, and it was somewhere up there. Now we see it right next to us, and it looks very majestic. Next one. Yeah, see, these are all the rocks, the single rocks we have put on the heritage list. The government had asked us to give a list of rock formations which should be protected, so that they could publish them together or list in the press for protection of the rocks. The left one is the Sentinel Rock near Maulali, and the right one is called as quite aptly, as you can see, United We Stand in Gachibowli, in what is now the Urdu University. Okay, next. This was the second list of rocks listed in 2009. There is a ridge, a big rocky ridge on the way to, near the police academy. On the left side, you see, there is a dargah in one of the rocks. It's called Ghar-e-Mubarak, behind the Taramati Baradari. And we are going a little out of Hyderabad here. And on the right side, another dargah. We cannot really see the dargah here, but that was also listed. Those rocks were also listed on the heritage list, on the second heritage list. Next one, please. Some more in town. You can see a ridge behind Malkam Cheruvu on the way to Gachibowli and Sheikhpet. Dattatreya, Alabanda, and Gangabowli are all in the center of the city near Sitaramba. And you can, if you live in the city, you can easily see them from any elevated point. Malali is also mentioned there. So that means two lists of rocks have been listed as protected rocks altogether. 25. The aims of the society you see now on the slide to preserve the rocky landscape, because we have a really very special landscape in and around our city. And the heritage precincts you have seen just now, to include rocks in parks and gardens and in houses was also done already quite extensively. We'll see a few pictures of that. You see the walkway around the KBR Park. If you have gone walking in KBR on the outer walkway, then you come to this stairs with all these beautiful rocks around. On the right side is Mr. Luther's house, the first floor of it. The ground floor has a rock which forms two walls of his drawing room. The rock goes up into the first floor and beautifies his son's drawing room. Next. So you can protect rocks in houses. If it goes through the roof, you have a little leaking problem, but it can be managed, Mr. Luther says. Mr. Luther is our first, well, I have to say was, because he passed away recently, but he was our first president. I'll talk about that a little later. So here you can see, there is this. It is in Golconda, and you see that even in olden times, the rocks were integrated into the construction, and here into the fort wall of Golconda. It looks very impressive. Next. Yeah, can we have the next slide? The Society to Save Rocks was formed in 1996, and we started right away with awareness programs, with sales, as you can see here, at the Enviro Mela. That was one of our first programs, Enviro Mela, in which a lot of environmental societies participated. And of course, we also did some awareness programs in the Mela, all kinds of awareness programs. I think we come to that a little later. And we make a lot of publicity, you can see on the right side, at the India Industrial Exhibition, where we went around with these big placards and whatever. So we thought all Hyderabadis will finally know about our rocks and that we have to protect them. Next. Can I have the next? We started right early, even before the society was started, with a children's painting exhibition. On the left side, you see the children. The artist Krishan Kana handed over the prizes to the children. You can see up and down. On the right side, we had a concert that was our favorite, the Indian Ocean concert in the rocks. It was very beautiful. It was above the Durgam Cheruvu, where you have that outdoor amphitheater. I don't know if you know it, but it was a really great event, one of our early events. Like that, we try to make more and more people aware of the beauty of our rocky landscape. Yes, next. Here you have a little list of what all has been done, concerts, some classical concerts, plays, a documentary. The first documentary was called Rockumentary Apte, which was done by our then president, Mr. Luther, Narendra Luther, who passed away recently. It showed mainly the beauty of our rocky landscape around Hyderabad. Then, If Rocks Could Talk, Would You Listen? A little documentary made by the HCU students. And recently, Hyderabad City of Rocks, a really professional film with interviews of different people who are involved in the rocks, architects, water experts, and the awareness people, environmental people. In books, we have done one book called Rockitecture, again written by Mr. Narendra Luther, and we have done a scientific survey which deals with the rocks and the flora and fauna of Hyderabad. I mean, the flora and fauna in the rocks of Hyderabad. Then the rockscape of Andhra Pradesh and the marvels of nature are the development of the Rockitecture book. And all these books, Rockitecture not, but the last of them, which was necessary because rockscapes of Andhra Pradesh were exhausted. So we made one more Marvels of Nature, the rocks of Telangana. We then restricted it to mainly the rocks in Hyderabad and surroundings in 2020. Next. Rock Walks is one of our very special, populated programs, I would say. people love to come on these rock walks, and we have done them right from the beginning, from 1992 onwards, when we started when we started on this preservation drive for the rocks. It says there rock walks on the third Sunday of every month. It's still going on, and tomorrow is the third Sunday, and we are going to Aminpur, the rocks behind the Aminpur Lake. And if you are interested in coming, there we have to meet at the metro station in Miapur at 8 o'clock. Don't know if you would like to manage to get up at 8, to be there at 8 o'clock. But the rock walks are very popular, and we have conducted them since 1992. Quite a lot of them, if you calculate that every year we did 12 rock walks in a year. We were very regular, except when there were no registrations, and that was only in a very few months, when it's very hot or people are busy with other things. Sorry. So hundreds of rock walks from 92 onwards. We also took school groups and other groups, clubs, and Mr. Subbarao knows that we went with the school children of HPS. I don't remember which year. Which year was it, Mr. Subbarao?
That was 2000 and 2001.
Okay, so that's quite. Now all those children are grown up, and I hope have good memories of the rock walks we did with them. Right, next one, please. Yeah, see here, you can see a few people down there on those rocks. That is also one of our rock walks. These are two hills in the middle of town, Sitaramba, and we didn't go there very often because there is too much of population around there now. Next one. One of the rock walks near Hyderabad, where we found a very interesting cave. Yeah, next. Again in Hyderabad, near this is in the in one place called Nkari Mubarak, and no, sorry. This is in Fakhruddin Gutta. There's a rock outcrop on which you can sit nicely and see the surrounding landscape, which changes more and more. A lot of this area down there is now being built up. Next. Next one. Well, this is what we always ask people, how will you help us spread the awareness? Yeah, first of all, make yourself aware, come to the rock walks, see all these beautiful areas, and a part of that, become a member of the society and help working for it, and spread the message in your neighborhood or in your groups or in your families and wherever you are. Raise resources, of course. Often when we go around and ask for money, because we also need money. So donate and volunteer. Volunteer is a big thing. We need lots of volunteers, mainly who become members of the society. Next. This is one digital design. When we asked for selfies, actually, for photographs of rocks, and somebody sent in these designs. The front rock is really, I mean, it's a real rock. The back is probably more sourced from somewhere else. It's not quite Hyderabad. But our city will look like this with all these cut rocks in front, defaced by the advertisements, which we don't like at all. But anyway, these rocks are cut and they will be ground down, cut more and ground down into powder for the cement. Sorry. Next. These are our contacts, saverocks.org. The emails, the email, the Facebook, and our if you're interested. All right. We want.
Would you want to show the movie now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Okay.
We see them to raise awareness. We also have programs like the Rockathon, which, like a marathon, is a rock program all through the day, together with the Hyderabad Adventure Club. So we have a little movie here for you to see what happens during this Rockathon. We are doing it in different areas, and it's great fun because it's a full day, including lunch, tea, and whatever, and lots of rock programs. We'll see it now in the video. Can we have the video, Mr. Subaru?
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll try to bring it up.
Yes.
Can you hear?
Can hear. These are the rock walks. It's usually quite crowded, as you can see. Can you hear me?
We can.
Selfies. Selfie competition.
Don't push it really hard. It will fall down. I'm loving this. Can you see your lips? Now's the time to tear up. Come on.
It's of course great fun, the zip lining and the rappelling.
Right.
the rock balancing is especially fascinating, and not only the children but the grown-ups are very happy when they make really high columns of rocks.
The same place. The same place. Everyone, look for the two mountains.
There was a large rock outside Hyderabad. They met and the king moved in that area.
Yeah, this was done in 2015. We are still doing it, except for last year we couldn't do it because of the pandemic. The bad corona has not really reduced our rock walks, but the rockathon was not taken up. Okay, yes.
Thank you, Frauke, for sharing those very nice images and the passion which goes behind organizing all those events to increase awareness. If I'm not mistaken, we have one student who must have come on that rock walk. Samrita, were you a participant?
No, uncle, I was not. I mean, I remember those rock walks did happen during our school time, but I was not part of the trip. Probably we had, I think during our year, we did not have that probably.
Okay.
But this is fantastic. This is absolutely great. And thank you so much for, sharing with us about, what Society to Save the Rocks do. In fact, my organization that I work with, we do similar treks on rocks. We have a campus near the Khila Gunpur, the rocks, the rock formation over there. And this is actually fantastic to actually learn from more about this right now.
Okay, great. So, Frauke, are you game to take some questions? I know you have a bad throat. Appreciate your, participating in spite of that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm coughing all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Dr. Palan Sharma wanted to know how you determine the age of the rocks. Like in the tree, you count the rings. How is the age of a rock formation or a rock determined?
Well, you see,
it is a question from me, sir. Dr. V.S. Sharma.
Sharma from Chennai. Sorry.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, we are not geologists. We are, enthusiasts and activists. So maybe you ask the geologist. Is any geologist around?
I do not believe so. We had a geologist speak in one of our FOSWL meetings. Maybe I can pose this question to him on email.
How they determine the age.
And then send it to Dr. Sharma. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, they say the rocks are 2.5 billion years old, billion. So they know what the rock consists of and how they have been formed, and when they have been formed, they know that. Okay, please ask the geologist, how do they determine it?
Right.
Yeah.
Sushil from Alabama, he's also from HPS here. Sushil, you want to tell us about the Stone Mountain in Atlanta?
Yes,
Yeah,
one of
that's
the largest inselbergs in the world, Stone Mountain. They've done a fabulous job of preserving it. They've got a carving on one side which shows 3 Confederate generals on horses, and they have a laser show that animates those sculptures. And you can take a gondola ride to the top of the rock, and it is, I think it's about 300 or 400 feet from the surrounding terrain. The actual elevation on the top is probably over 1,000, but it's about 400 or so, I think, from the surrounding terrain.
Yeah, and he had a question, the rock formations, near East Maritpally, behind the South Central Railway, Rail Bhavan, are they still in existence?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I think that is somewhere in the Lalaguda area, behind the Rail Nilayam. Are those rock formations still there?
I know Mahindra Hills, and Mahindra is still around, Mahindra Hills, and they have some very lovely balancing rocks on top. Actually, I should have shown you one of those. Really quite astounding. Those are still there, yeah, there. As far as I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm finished.
Okay, Sushil, I think they raised some of them to create a huge playground behind the Rail Nilayam, as I know. It's called the RCC ground or RRC ground or some such thing. But otherwise, a question from one, the name shows as Sterling. Can you identify yourself, please? Who's this?
Yes. Subarao.
Rumi,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Mr. Rumi Wakil wanted to know, is there any statutory provision to protect heritage rocks?
The problem, the heritage regulations in Hyderabad under Huda had been put up in 1997-98, including this first list of 9 rock formations, and in 2009 the second list of rock formations. These whole heritage rules have been cancelled by the government, present government, which of course gave us a big shock, because we said, oh, now everybody is free to cut down these rocks. But the government has put up a heritage law for the full of Telangana in 2017. Unfortunately, they have listed a lot of buildings from the heritage regulations, but they haven't listed the rocks. So we are lobbying very intensely with the government to include the old heritage lists, those 2 lists of rocks, also in this new heritage law. And I hope it will come about sometime soon, so that the rocks are not being destroyed. Those which you can see on the picture behind me, they're really impressive rocks, and they deserve to be protected, because we are a city with lots of these beautiful formations, right for the beauty and the uniqueness of these rocks. They should be protected. The bigger areas are being quarried here and there, and we still regard them, although the Huda heritage regulations have been scrapped, we still treat them as heritage rocks, and we have even gone to court for the protection of some of these rocks and against the quarrying and the rock cutting. We will still follow up on that wherever we see that the destruction has happened. But the government has not yet put these old lists and some lists which we had proposed afterwards in that new heritage law. It takes quite some time. They are willing to do it, but it takes some time of procedure. And we hope that in not too far a future, we will be able to see them listed in the heritage law, which is there, which lists mainly buildings now and not the rock formations. Yes? Does that answer to your question?
Yeah, thank you. There's a related question from Pramod Kumar. He says, how are these rock formations protected in other countries? How do the governments there manage this? You know, and since they are billions of years old, somehow can they be converted into heritage monuments so that they can be protected forever from construction?
I'm not so aware of other countries. In Germany, my home country, we have landscape protection laws under which any natural formation that is outstanding or not usual to the area, it can be protected and is protected. And the rock formations also will be protected there. It's a law. And I know that in America, in the US, a lot of heritage areas are protected in parks, rock parks, the different nature parks that the US have. I'm not quite so sure about other countries, but I'm quite sure in Africa we have beautiful formations, in Namibia, in a lot of Africa. The shield areas out of which these rocks, or on which these rocks usually occur, granitic shield areas, are in all the continents. And usually you have rock formations, bizarre rock formations in these areas, granite formation. Because granite is a very hard stone, and the weathering occurs along the cracks in those stones and these millions of years that these stones are old, they give the opportunity to weather along these cracks and become rounded stones which sit onto each other. Yes. But I would love to know more other countries. We have shown a few now in Africa where they have very similar rocks to our rocks. Yes.
Mr. Nageshwar Rao Guntur, who's the chairman of Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, he appreciates the effort the society has taken up, and he was wondering whether greenery plantation can be, encouraged or regulated around all rock formations, which could also become a natural protection.
Say that again. What is arranged around the rock formation? Habitation?
No, not habitation, plantation.
Plantation.
Yeah.
Well, on the rocks themselves, it'll be difficult because there's a sheer granite rocks, these formations, outcrops that we have. And, sorry. And there's not much soil. But there are plants which grow on these rocks, on the sheer rock, in all the little unevennesses where a bit of soil can gather, plants and lichens, mosses, little flowering plants. And there are biggish cracks in the rocks also, where the rocks have split up through the weathering over these millions of years, which have collected soil, where you can find plants and trees also quite a lot. You see a lot of sitafel trees in our rocks here if you go outside. And on the hills, for instance, in Rachakonda, the silverbark trees also grow between the rocks and on the rock. Not really on the rocks, but between the rocks. Yes.
Yeah, Sushil, to your question, Mrs. Uma Seshadri seems to recollect, spending several hours sitting on the rocks in Haddagutta in East Maridpalli. So I think it touched a chord and brought back memories to somebody else. And one of our viewers, Sanjay Gotikar, he says probably C14 carbon dating is used to determine the age of the rocks. So that could be another.
Yeah, I think we should talk to the scientists about it again. No, so I don't think carbon dating is the method here, but we will ask them again. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'd like to thank Samrita Ghosh, who was a co-host, and helped me with this. We will continue his logging off. He has got a work call. One other question to my personal window which came is, how did you fall in love with these rocks? What made you fall in love with these Hyderabadi rocks?
Well, I gave you a counter question. How can you not fall in love with these rocks? I mean, they are so, you see that picture behind me, all rock formations from Hyderabad, all very near surroundings. And they're just so fascinating. They're so, no, my mother would say, no, some giant has put them on top of each other. Well, it wasn't a giant, it was nature. And that is the great fascination, that nature can make such sculptures, such beautiful sculptures. So, because when I came to Hyderabad in 75, we lived in Masaptang, but we would go out for walks into the hills. It's very near Banjara Hills. Later we moved to Banjara Hills and then to Jubilee Hills. And then if you live in Jubilee Hills, you cannot but really be fascinated by the rocks and the surroundings of Jubilee Hills have such beautiful rocks. But we have them all over the city, and some of them are also protected. Some people protect them in their houses, as you have seen, in their gardens, like in M.F. Hussein's house up there in Banjara Hills. There's a huge rock egg sitting right in the middle of the garden, and it's such a fantastic sculpture of nature that nature has gifted us. So, and sometimes so unbelievable that they can balance on top of each other. So it's just fascinated by it and drawn to it. And some people are so drawn that they toppled them over. It has happened. I have heard about it. Yeah, and those people at that time in the year so and so, they just pushed that rock down. That, of course, is not what we should do. People should keep them to give other people the chance to be fascinated by them.
Speaking of inspiration and fascination, may I bring you on? Here is one young student who was still a young man. He was a student when you conducted those rock walks. Nihal, you want to come up and say yourself what you wrote here?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I am totally inspired by your presentation, and I deeply regret missing the rock walk when I was in class 8 and class 9. I remember Shravya and around 20 other of my classmates had attended it, and I was at Maridpalli and I thought, oh, it's quite far. I'll go maybe next time. I now regret thinking my next time will be 20 years afterward in 2020, 2021.
Well, tomorrow is a chance if you would like to come along. There's a rock walk to Aminpur, which has a very nice rocky area behind the lake. We are meeting at 8 o'clock at the Miapur metro station. Easy to find, and come along. get fascinated again. Yes?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and you're always welcome to join the society and to to help us and to be a volunteer or a member that we can work with. Thank you.
Nihal would be a good member and volunteer. He is a lawyer by profession and he had worked in the state government for some time and is full of energy. He's an excellent debater. He belongs to the Young Orators Club. And in fighting with the government, you need a lot of oratory skills. You need to keep on and on. So, Nihal?
Oh, I'm present. On record, I volunteer.
Very good, very good.
Very good. Please write to us. We have at the end of our presentation, there's a slide with all the addresses, email, web address, Facebook address. Yeah?
I will register.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Great.
I also like to, go ahead, please.
Yes?
I'd like to invite Jayanti Seturaman to speak her thoughts. She's very appreciative and fascinated by what she heard from you, Jayanti. She has joined us from Bangalore.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. It's a truly beautiful presentation and such an inspiring tribute to these rocks, which are, silent sentinels of times immemorial. Next opportunity that I have to be at Hyderabad, I'll be sure to join you for and the team for a rock walk. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please come and the Rockathon is a very nice opportunity. You saw. Can we play that a little video on the rock?
Which one?
The video of the Rockathon. The fun? Did I show you? I don't know. Today was our 25th anniversary celebration, and we showed all these little documentaries which we had made. Did we show them here? No. Did we? No.
No, we did not. I think the only movie we saw was the 2016 one.
Yes.
You can share it from your system if possible.
The one about the Rockathon?
Yeah.
That you showed already.
That we showed, no? Yeah, I think we showed it to you. That's okay. All right. So this year we could not have the Rockathon because of our beautiful pandemic. But we hope that we can take it up again in all the coming years because it's such fun. Yes.
One of the persons who participated in another video of yours, Professor Murali Atluri from Hyderabad. He's another video where you had professionals from different fields speak.
Yes.
So I'm going to share that with our members.
The whole
the
whole documentary.
Correct.
Yes, fine.
Yeah,
so that would be nice.
Yeah, it's about 12 minutes long, so I'll share that with the members.
If they have enough patience to see another 12 minutes of rocks, but it's a very nice documentary. Gives you a lot of more information, also scientific information.
Right, I'll share it with them later to our members.
Pardon?
I will share it with our members later through email.
The
video.
Yeah, the video is on the web, so you can always access it on the web.
Okay, then we'll share the website link. That should be fine.
It's called Hyderabad City of Rocks.
Correct. Yeah.
You find it on YouTube. Just type in the name, that's all.
Yes. So great, thank you very much, and thank you for holding up with your bad throat. Appreciate that. And
well, it didn't give up. No, my throat didn't give up, and I'm very happy about that.
But please thank Irfan for helping us with this.
I'll do that.
May I call on our Joint Secretary, Mr. Somashekar, to propose a vote of thanks, please?
Yeah, I'm TPVS Somasekar Rao. Good evening to all of you, and thank you all for joining the 146th FOSWL Hyderabad Junior Monthly Meeting. On behalf of FOSWL Hyderabad, we thank the family members of Sri Nayani Srinivas for establishing an annual endowment lecture in his name. We also thank Sri Subhash Chandra Bose, Secretary, for annual logistics sponsorship for the month of January in the name of his spouse, Srimati Basveswari. It was very educational and inspiring to listen to Ms. Frauke Kadar's excellent talk on the topic of the magnificent rocks of Hyderabad and their preservation. We must admit readily that though many of us are residents of Hyderabad for past many decades, we did not really know the ancient history of these beautiful rock formations, the extremely important role they play in the ecology and environment cycles of our region. One cannot feel distressed after listening to Ms. Kadar that so many rocky areas have been raised to make way for dwellings and other uses. It would be a happy day for humanity when man can learn to coexist with nature and yet thrive in his aspirations and advancement. The movie gave us a glimpse of the numerous activities Society to Save Rocks has taken up over the years to preserve rocks. We must commend Ms. Frauke and all her colleagues who have passionately and valiantly kept up this effort. Thank you, Ms. Kadar, for answering all our many questions. We propose to continue with the Zoom meetings for the next few months till the pandemic situation abates after the vaccination program. Our forthcoming meetings for the next 3 months are as follows. On the third Saturday, 20th March 2021, Justice Madan Lokur, former Supreme Court judge, will discuss the reasons for the huge number of pending cases in Indian courts and possible solutions to address them. On the third Saturday, 17th April 2021, Sri Guntur Nageswarrao Garu, Chairman of the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, will talk to us on the various aspects of nuclear energy. On the third Saturday, 15th May 2021, Ambassador Vinay Tumalapalli, former US Ambassador to Belize, will talk to us on why the USA continues to be the favored destination for investment and innovation. Once again, it was very nice to meet you all this evening. Wish you all a good and safe weekend. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, till we meet again on the third Saturday of March for the FOSWL Hyderabad 147th monthly meeting. Thank you.
Thank you all, especially those of you who have joined early in the morning from the US and from the various other cities. I can see Vijay also, who woke up at 4:35 in the morning to join. It's nice to see you all. Good night and stay safe. And do not forget to take the vaccination whenever your chance comes. Do not believe the WhatsApp University on the side effects. We have people on this screen who have taken both the doses, including Sushil, Ravi Ramaswamy, Dr. Sharma in Chennai. So as he said, whenever your chance comes, take whichever vaccination is offered to you. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.